Hey everyone, Steve here from NetBeez, and today we're going to do a dashboard overview. We're going to go into each section, some a little bit deeper than others, and I'm going to explain how to utilize each section from a high level overview. But stay tuned, we're actually going to go deeper into a lot of these sections here in the up and coming weeks. Without further ado, let's take a look at the sections we're covering today. So the areas we're going to cover is the agents. We're going to take a look at the targets, Wi-Fi, scheduled tests, ad hoc or on-demand testing, and finally, reports. And we're going to have a couple things across the top here, and I'm going to briefly go over them, and then we'll go a little bit deeper into each section. The buzz tab here, this is going to be kind of your general overview of what's going on with scoring, and it'll tell you current incidents with regards to agent, target, Wi-Fi. You have your agents tab, targets, Wi-Fi. If you have Wi-Fi agents, tests you can set up, on-demand testing, reports, historical alerts, and over here is where you can go through NetBeez settings, and this is also where your online documentation is. So here we are in the agent section here. You can see the name of the agent, the type, and its status, if it's reachable or not. This is the grid view or list view. We have the grid view over here as well, where you can get another overview with open alerts and the tests that are running. Here, if we go over to inventory, we can see even more information, such as the MAC address, the IP, the gateway, the maximum speed output, any open alerts, and software version. So if we go back over to the grid view, we're going to go to my Unraid server. And here you can see the cluster of targets. So for Salesforce, we have two actual targets set up, two resources rather under one target. And what's really cool is you can click on any of these. So we'll do Salesforce login DNS. I just recently added this about 20 minutes ago, and you can actually get kind of a whole history of what's going on every minute of the way, and you can do that for any of these. And you can also compare, two different targets at the same time, so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here. Plus, we give you some basic information: their external IP, their internal IP, the MAC address, and if your unit supports IPv6, then it'll also give you that address as well. Now let's take a really quick look at a Wi-Fi agent, because that has one more element. That's the wireless section. Here you can see a running time of the last roughly half hour, depending on your configuration, of the periodic disconnect and reconnect. So you can see association, authentication, DHCP time, and ultimately if the connection was successful. Here you can also see the text rate, RX rate. You can see link quality, signal strength, bit rate. And if you go through here, what's really cool is you can actually scroll through history to see all the periodic disconnect and reconnects, as well as if there was actually a disconnection issue and exactly when it happened, and to line up with user reports. And before we get into targets, I just want to show the Wi-Fi tab real quick. Where this differs from what we just looked at was this is where you actually set up the wireless networks, and then you can assign it to the actual agents themselves. And you can actually see from the wireless network standpoint, not necessarily agent standpoint, all the same information: link quality, signal strength, bit rate, channel, and you can also see your total connection time, how long each thing took, and the successful connections. A target is something that you can set up to run tests on. Anything such as an external website like Google or Netflix, internal such as internal hosts, CRMs, web applications, things like that. So as long as it has an IP address, website, or a fully qualified domain name, it can be set up as long as it's reachable from your network. In this case, we're going to take a look at Salesforce, and this is one target set up with two resources. So we have na30.salesforce.com and then the main website. We're going to take a look at ping. And what's cool about this is, and this is the case for all the tests, it gives you an average performance across all the agents that are running it. What you can also do is click on the two agents and do a comparison between how the agent is performing when trying to run tests on that particular target. Then you can also do a view history, and you can snapshot any point within a day, week, month, depending on how you have data set up, and see exactly what happened and when. So over the test tab, you can see we have three new options to use our scheduled test. So we'll take a look at iPer first. You can kind of see the results here of the throughput going from the Docker agent to our Pittsburgh office. We can go to network speed test, and we can see what the internet bandwidth was. We'll give you upload, download, and latency. And finally, we have VoIP test, which we'll show you here. We'll give you a average MOS, jitter, packet loss, and latency. And you definitely want a average MOS of 4 or higher. That is pretty good. 3 is okay. Below 3 is not very good. And lastly, you'll see a grid view of the ongoing monitoring test, and it really gives you kind of a high-level overview of what's going on across the whole spectrum for each kind of test. And what's really neat is we'll go to my Unraid server, and then we'll take a look at, we did Salesforce before, so we'll do that again. And then you can actually see how well that's doing, and then we can even pull up a second one, and you can do another comparison between 2 different agents. You can also compare, say we'll go to Google Apps, the Drive, and the mail server, just to see how well they're doing when comparing the same exact target but 2 different resources. Last section is report. We're going to go ahead and click just yesterday's report. We're going to go ahead and generate a network status report. And then we're going to take a really quick look here. Here you can see all of your agents yesterday and exactly what happened when it comes to how the availability, download speed, upload speed, etc., performance. And then here you can also see your targets, the HTTP load times, the alerts, critical and performance. Here you can actually download it to a PDF, and you can also go out of here, create new. You can also manage the email reports as well and have it emailed out on a consistent or periodic basis. And finally, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at sales@netbeez.net. You can schedule a demo with me and the team. Coming up next, we're going to have some in-depth videos about agents, tests, Wi-Fi, and anomaly settings. That's going to be your alerts and incidents and how you can customize that. And lastly, stay tuned. We are currently working on release version 5.0, and that should be coming here in the near future. And that is it. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Like to know if you liked it, share with anybody you think it would be beneficial for. And as always, this is Steve from NetBeez, and I'll see you in the next video.